Today is Thursday, Parashat Mishpatim. In the parasha of this week, there is a mitzvah, there is a pasuk that tells us when you see the donkey of someone, even if he's your enemy, somebody that you hate, sona'acha, that is crouching under its load, then you have a mitzvah to assist the person to unload that animal. Because the animal obviously is suffering from crouching under the heavy load. You cannot remain indifferent. You have to help the person to unload the animal and to relieve the distress, the pain of that animal. And you help the person who owns that animal. He cannot do it on his own, or maybe it's difficult for him to unload. You share in that responsibility of unloading the animal together with him. You come and you assist him. In the Gemara, he goes into more details. And it says, aside from this mitzvah to unload the animal, there's a mitzvah also that if you see someone trying to put a heavy load onto an animal, then you have a mitzvah to assist him to pick up that heavy weight and put it on top of the animal. That's called the mitzvah of te'ina, of loading up. And there's a mitzvah of prika, of unloading. So you have both mitzvot, a mitzvah to help unload an animal, and you have a mitzvah to assist someone who's trying to load up his animal, to put a load on top of his animal. And then the Gemara goes into details by saying, what if you have both mitzvot happening at the same time? You're walking down the street and you see two people, one trying to unload and one trying to load up his animal. Who do you help first? Well, you would obviously help the one who's trying to unload, because of Tsa'ar Ba'alei Chayim, that animal is in distress, is suffering. We have to be humane to all Hashem's creatures, and therefore you take care first of unloading. The one who's trying to load up his animal could wait, and then you can help him also afterwards. Or somebody else would have helped him already by then, but you give precedence to unloading that animal first before loading up the other one. Except there's one exception. If the person who's trying to load up his animal is someone you don't get along with, someone that you have a conflict with, you have a problem with, you have bad emotions towards him, you help that person first load up his animal, because as you help him load up his animal and you have assisted him, it might change your attitude towards him. Because after all, the emotions of a person are drawn after his actions. The action of helping will have a tendency to switch your attitudes towards him, and you'll bring him some appreciation for him. Why? Because you've invested of yourself into him. And that's a very important principle in general in life. And among spouses, etc. The more you do for the other, the more you have appreciation for the other, the more you can love the other person as you give the other person. As giving brings about affinity. You have affinity for that person because you've given him, you've assisted him. And therefore, again, if you happen to see one person that needs to unload the animal, the other person needs to load up, you unload, unless the person that needs to load up is somebody you don't get along with. And maybe in general, the more you do for people, the more you'll be able to appreciate them. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.